All right, so continuing on, just a reminder, because when we get to the end, we've got to look and make sure that it is true scientific notation. And so if we need to move our decimal to the right, we're going to subtract. Or if we have to move our decimal to the left, we'll end up adding to our exponent. Now, again, this is to the exponent. And when you're thinking about it, it's because we're either taking away a move or we are adding a move to what we're doing. All right, so we want to know how far from Earth in miles is the star. We know that a certain star is 4.3 times 10 squared light years from Earth, and 1 light year is about 5.9 times 10 to the 12 miles. So we need to take our light year times our miles, and that's what's going to give us our answer. So we know that we are 4.3 times 10 to the second power light years away. We're going to take that times the fact that each light year is 5.9 times 10 to the 12th miles. And we're going to multiply. And so when we multiply, we're going to multiply. I'm basically going to take out what would have been maybe a distributive property. So we're going to take 4.3 times 5.9, and then we're going to take 10 squared times 10 to the 12th. 4.3 times 5.9 gives us 25.37 times, and then we're going to add these exponents because we have the same base, so this would be 10 to the 14th power. Notice that we're taking everything we learned in our previous lessons about exponents and using them for scientific notation. Now here, this is greater than, this is not a single digit. And so I need to move my decimal, and I'm moving it to the left. And since I'm moving it to the left, we're going to add 1 to our exponent. So we're now going to have 2.537 times 10 to the 15th power, and that's how many miles the star is from Earth. And so again, we multiply our numbers together and we add our exponents when we multiply scientific notation, and then adjust our answer in the end. All right, perform the indicated operation. It's division. That's the indicated operation. So I'm going to split it up. We're going to think of it as 3 divided by 5 times 10 squared divided by 10 to the negative 8. All right, so 3 divided by 5 is 0.06. So then we have times, then we're going to subtract. So I'm doing 2 minus a negative 8. Because with scientific notation, we are always just moving it to the top, whether it's going to be positive or negative. So we know we have 10 to the something power. Minus a negative becomes plus a positive, so we end up with 10 to the 10th power, although that looks like a 6. Let's make it look like a 10. There we go. Now, from here, my 0.6 is not, I don't have a single digit here that's between 1 and 9. So I need to move my decimal to the right. And remember, if we move it to the right, we subtract 1 exponent. And so we have 6 times 10 to the 9th power. And that is our final answer for that problem. Last problem, last example. On a certain planet, continent X has the following area, square miles, and continent Y has the other area in square miles. It wants to know which continent's bigger. So here's X at 6.23 times 10 to the 6th power, and Y is 6.36 times 10 to the 6th power. Pretty easy to compare. If they have different exponents, the bigger exponent is going to be the bigger number, and I mean that's including negatives. So if it's a negative, if it's 6 and -6, then the 6 is going to be bigger. Or if it's -1 comparing to -10, -1 is bigger because that, anyway, bigger number. These have the same, so we're not going to look at that. We're actually going to look at their decimal. And so we have 6.223 and 6.36. So 6.36 is going to be bigger. So it would be continent Y is larger. And then it says, by how many square miles is the area greater? Well, when you want to know how many more, you just do simple subtraction. And so we're going to take 6.23 times 10 to the 6th power minus 6.36 times 10 to the 6th power. Same base, so we're going to have times 10 to the 6th. That's okay. And we're going to take 6.23 minus 6.36, and actually I should have flipped those around. And we'll do that right now. Sorry to you. Sorry, not sorry? I don't know. I am sorry that some of you write in pen, and for that I apologize. All right, but I want this to be a whole number, not a negative, and so 6.36 minus 6.23 gives me 0.13 times 10 to the 6th power. Now, again, I don't have that single digit, so I've got to move to the right. Since I'm moving to the right, I'm going to subtract 1 from my exponent. So we end up with 1.3 times 10 to the 5th power. That is our difference. That's how many more square miles continent Y is than continent X. So our answer is 1.3 times 10 to the 5th power miles squared. And that's our answer. That's how it works. So again, adding and subtracting, you have to have the same base 10 or the same exponent with your base 10 in order to add or subtract. Multiplying, dividing, you don't. We add and subtract the numbers, and then we leave the base 10 on the multiplying and dividing. You multiply the numbers together, you multiply the bases together, and then you bring the new expression back, your scientific notation back together. And that's it. If you have questions, please, please, please feel free to ask. As you know, I'm always there to help. Until next time, deuces.